hound to some degree. Obviously they're not pecking at each other, so you'd only ever put one bird into a bag. I've no idea what it is, so this is magician out of the hat.
Yeah, right.
So you want to let it go, isn't it?
Yeah, don't do that.
What have we got about it?
So I'm fishing around the bag, trying to get the bird into the correct grip.
Desperate not to let it go as well. Okay.
Yeah, so as we were saying on the way around, yeah, the female has the brown head. Yeah.
So the first thing to do obviously is to identify it. So before you put a ring on the bird's egg, you have to know what it is. So this one obviously, I guess everybody knows it's a black cap. It doesn't have a black cap because it's a female, so it's a brown cap maybe. We'll show you the bird a bit better in a minute. Let's just get it ringed. So knowing what bird it is, we then know what size ring that goes on it. So all of these rings are different sizes, from the very smallest, which is this one here, which is called a AA. I think the biggest we've got on the table here is a C, which is this one here, which would go on a blackbird. These go on things like long-tailed tit, chiff-chaff, willow warbler, wren. Going on a black cap is an A-ring. You put on Gary?
Yep.
Right, okay, which comes off the yellow string here. So what Gary will then do is he writes a number down in the book, so we know the number of that particular bird. We know it's a black cap.
It's very calm, isn't it, the bird?
If it's held properly, most birds will be calm. It's only when they sense that there's a chance of getting away that they start to wriggle. Some of them can be quite vocal. Something like a great spotted woodpecker will make an absolute racket if you catch it. But you know, things like this, it feels reasonably secure. I'm sure it's stressed. That's part of the reason why you want to let it go. So what Gary was then doing, he was looking at the wing, because we can tell from the state of the greater covert sometimes whether it's a juvenile bird. Looking at that one, I suspect it isn't.
It isn't, no. Sometimes they retain a juvenile feather in their wing, and you can identify that feather to say whether it was born last year or not. This one hasn't, so we can't say whether it was born last year or not. We just know it was. It could be, it's at least 1 year old, but it could be 5 years old, we don't know.
So that ageing is all to do with molt patterns. So
I'll just show you, we're just doing its breeding conditions. If I just blow on its belly.
Wow, so small.
So there's no feather, but you can also see there's no feathers on there, so it will lose all those feathers. So it's skin contact, directly in contact with the eggshell.
Yeah, so we know that bird is breeding. And then we'll just do a quick biometrics.
So now the wing length.
77.
And these records, they go back to how
So
far?
these will go into the computer. So historically there would have been paper records, and depending on the person ringing, sometimes it wouldn't get sent to the BTO until the end of the year. So some people would have accumulated a whole year of records and submit it all at one time. Now with computer technology, certainly Gary and I will tend to put what we've run will go into the computer tonight, so that's available. So if somebody was to catch that bird again tomorrow, it's unlikely because it's here breeding, but obviously different times of year. You can then transfer that information, but it also gives the data straight away to the BTO, who are then working with that data and doing population studies.
So with it being a female, I'm going to let it go very quickly. So this one, so that's bird. It's in the plumage that it's flown from Africa in. It's not done anything since it arrived, and it's just gone straight into breeding mode. We can tell it's probably born last year because it's got quite pointed tail feathers, but that's not an absolute diagnostic feature of it. There's nothing else telling me though, so we can only say that it was probably born last year, but not definitely. And there we are. There we are. Just anybody wants a picture, you can just be careful.
I've got my video, so.
And as you see, you can rotate the bird, and the head doesn't move. Yeah. So I'm going to let this bird go. I'm going to let this bird go now.
Wow.
Wow, that's fabulous.